Hey everyone, I'm Cecil Laird.
I'm Fuego here.
And this is your horror show news with booze once again, but in very special glasses this week, Fuego.
Yums.
As y'all can see, unfortunately, I must have picked a color that just made it disappear, because you can see it on Fuego's, but not on mine. But we had some really awesome glasses made by both a young lady and the Flesh of Frankenstein, who is a
shout out.
Yes, a common commenter here on the show, a viewer of ours that was awesome enough to show up to Phoenix Comic-Con, our very first panel, with a box of 4 different horror show glasses for us, and I want to give proper shout out. That is for Allie from Nerdful Things,
which
is
name.
an amazing name.
I'm so jealous of that name. It's awesome, Allie.
You guys can check it out at www.nerdfulthingsshop.com.
Give them your
money. She also has a Etsy.com shop at Nerdful Things, so make sure you check them out. Give them your patronage, because this is a badass group of glasses. We are excited to use them for News with Booze.
I'm excited to empty it.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, so that being said, you guys, Fuego, what is first?
First and foremost is a story that just broke, well, not yesterday since we're filming this on Wednesday, but, you're viewing this on Friday. Thanks, guys.
Wow.
I know.
And someone scratched the record.
I know. So, Adam WINGARD, yeah, you guys know him from You're Next. He did the most recent Blair Witch, which I know was kind of polarizing for some, but I really enjoyed the recent Blair Witch movie.
Really
he also
enjoyed
did the pilot for Outcast. He has the upcoming Death Note. So this is a guy with his hands in a lot of projects. He has officially been named the director of Godzilla vs. King Kong. Big stuff, man.
Why? Okay, now here's the thing, though. It's not completely surprising, considering who was named as the director for Godzilla 2.
They're
Another
with young, talented horror directors.
You know,
Michael Dougherty.
Taking over. So it's not all that surprising, and frankly, it seems to me like it's the studios finally wisening up and being like, there needs to be a horror element to these movies. I mean, you're supposed to be scared of these giant monsters. So why the hell are we putting it in the hands of, action movie directors or, God forbid, in the extreme case of your Ang Lee's directing your Hulk, you cannot do that.
Yeah, that was a poor pairing.
It was, but it was just an example of some of the poor decision making that the studio heads can make sometimes. Now, finally, it seems like they're correcting some of these thoughts by getting horror people involved in these giant monster scary movies, because that's what they're supposed to be.
Yeah, I think they have their ear more so to the pulse at this point. Like they listen to fans about Godzilla and some of the disappointment within it. They're like, oh, the characters were crap and we never saw the monsters. So even though there were some very one-dimensional characters in the Kong Skull Island,
they
were more interesting characters, and they showed creatures.
Exactly.
So
they learned from the mistakes.
Fans. And I mean, honestly, with Dougherty doing King of the Monsters, then doing Godzilla sequel, and the cast they're putting together with that Silicon Valley guy that they just added.
Thomas Middleditch.
Yeah, man. And Millie Bobby Brown, Ken Watanabe, Vera
who apparently Millie Bobby Brown had auditioned for
Logan.
Logan.
I read about
just saw that too. That was interesting.
Yeah, although that girl kind of was doing a
she
11
was perfect.
Kind of thing. She was fantastic.
We need to watch. I have the Logan Blu-ray, and it's got the noir on there, so I would love to watch that. We should do a follow-up review for Infuegotainment.
I would love to. Thank you, man. But no, I think this is a very cool pairing. WINGARD hasn't really. I haven't seen Your Next. That's really the only thing of his.
It's really
that
good.
I haven't seen.
It's really good. When I first watched it, it had been built up so much. It suffered from the same thing that you find movies suffering from all the time, overhype.
Yeah,
and so I was like, okay, that was good, but it wasn't like mind blowing like it was for everyone else. So I think the hype got to me on that one a little bit. But it's a home invasion sort of. Kind of turned on its head, and your final girl is much more akin to the lead role in the Raid Redemption than your typical final girl.
Which I haven't seen, but everybody tells me The Raid is bad to the ass. State of the badass
Raid
art.
is amazing. If you guys haven't seen it, The Raid Redemption is one of the best action movies to come out in the past 4
sequel,
decades.
Right?
No, that's the first one.
Oh, okay.
No, there's another one. The Raid Redemption was the first one.
Oh, okay.
The Raid Resolution or something like that. I don't know even remember what the second one was called. But
it was a Hong Kong film or a Korean film?
Korean.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes.
Cool. They were excellent movies.
Excellent. What up, Rob?
The first one was amazing. The second one was good. Didn't quite capture what they achieved in the first one, but nonetheless, that sort of stuff is exciting. And Adam Wingard taking over this big budget, huge budget crossover movie is really exciting for me.
Yeah. So let's hope both King of the Monsters and Godzilla vs. King Kong, which arrives May 22nd, 2020. So we're still a few years away, but damn, I'm even more excited than I was before. So the second story, Josh Boone. Now, Josh Boone is a guy that only did a movie called The Fault in Our Stars or something, but he was apparently...
Ooh, wait, now, okay, we can gloss over that, except for the fact that The Fault in Our Stars was an extremely big success for a lot of people.
Yeah, it was a YA adaptation.
It was. God, I can't remember. It was from the same author that had done something else that made it huge as well. But it was about
Twilight,
a girl...
Right?
with a some sort of disease played by the girl that was in the Insurgent or Divergent movies rather. She the same girl played the lead, and she like falls in love with a boy as she's got this massive disease, but the boy ends up dying in the movie, and so it's a huge tearjerker. Sorry.
I was going to say, it sounded like A Walk to Remember for a minute there, and no, it's scary that I've seen that, but I love me more.
It's a hugely sad movie. But it did very, very well. There has to be something to the director.
Yeah, but apparently Josh Boone has been given all of these projects after the success of that adaptation because of the fact that he loves horror. He was apparently, as a 12-year-old, a pen pal with Stephen King. He wrote Stephen King letters, and they went back and forth and stuff. I'm very jealous, damn it! But I wasn't the biggest fan when I was a kid.
By the way,
liked his stuff. But...
check out one of the culminations of Fuego's Hail to Stephen King series that we live streamed.
It's interesting.
It's interesting,
we'll put it
but
way.
It's still, honestly, the fan reaction has been good. People say it's great to see Fuego talking about what he loves. So again, man, you ran a great panel.
We had a very energetic fan, a friend of mine, and he loved the. He's never been on a panel before.
It's hard to deny that.
It showed.
He was a dominant personality.
Yeah, he was trying to domineer with me and this guy who were domineers ourselves, right?
It's a bunch of type A's in a pen together. But
and then a cute little redhead just hanging to the side.
She did great. Everyone did good. Everyone played a role.
we tried. It was fun.
But nonetheless, it was an entertaining culmination to something Fuego's been preparing for quite a long time. And frankly, I believe I'm going to hand some footage off to Fuego to do a director's edition where you can throw in everything you want, because you can't really see the slideshow or anything, and you can throw on whatever you want whenever we're talking about it. So
that'd be awesome.
You can make a director's cut or a panelist cut
edition or something.
Panelist edition, of the Hail to Stephen King Road to the Dark Tower.
Dark Tower movie, yeah. But
I need to change that title then. I wasn't sure if movie was in there or not. But okay.
Yeah. Cool thing about Boone, though, is based on that kinship with King. Kinship with King, that's fun. He's been trying to readapt The Stand for a while, and that project has kind of stuttered here and there because of rights issues. But he's trying to adapt Revival at the moment as well. But
the comic property?
Revival, the book that I raved about the guy who was going around.
Because Revival's a really big comic property right now as well. So,
cool. Well, 2014's King book Revival, amazing. I've talked about it here before, but long story short, since I feel like I'm meandering, Josh Boone is bringing some horror sensibilities based on his taste to the New Mutants, a property in the Marvel X-Men verse that I'm not that familiar with. I'm sure you are, though. He basically described it in a recent interview with Entertainment Weekly as there's no costumes, there's no supervillains. This is going to be a straight-up horror film set in the X-Men universe.
That's amazing.
That excites the hell out of me, especially with the casting they're adding. We've got Anya Taylor-Joy from Split and The Witch and various other things. She is apparently going to
play... She was great in Morgan.
She's going to play Magic. And then...
do you know who Magic is?
I don't. Yeah.
That is Pyotr Rasputin's sister, Ilyana Rasputin.
Okay.
She's Colossus's sister.
Oh, shizzle. Okay.
Yeah.
Dope. And then...
Which makes sense because Fox is leaning on the Colossus in the Deadpool property, so Ilyana Rasputin makes sense. You might get a cameo from Colossus in that, if that's the case.
Yeah, depending on when the timeline is actually hitting.
Okay, go ahead, please. I'm glad to... Because I don't know who the New Mutants are going to be, so I love that I'm finding this out with you guys. Okay.
And then we have Macy Williams, who is going to be playing Wolfsbane.
And
she's from Game of Thrones, apparently.
So, she's the interpreter?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's perfect for Wolfsbane.
She's kind of become, from what a lot of friends of mine who watch the show, she's like the main character right now, kind of, right?
No.
One of the
she's
more
one of the she's one of the more prominent characters. Yes.
She's been built up in the last.
Yes, because she's developing a romance with the leader of the Unsullied, Grey Worm.
I know nothing about what that is.
The people that know. But anyway, so that's cool. Wolfsbane is essentially a teenage. Well, she's obviously older than teenage. She might be one of the older New Mutants, but she is a werewolf, a female werewolf in the X universe.
From the name,
exactly. Yeah. So that's awesome.
Yeah, and then lastly we have Charlie Heaton, I believe his name is. He played
Cannonball.
He played Jonathan Byers on Stranger Things.
Dude, he's old. Really?
Yeah.
Okay, which one was Jonathan Byers?
Mike's older brother. Or not Mike's older brother, the Will's older brother. Will Byers, Jonathan Byers, the older brother.
The dark one?
The one who looked like Stephen King was taking the
Winona Ryder's son.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Because Cannonball is a silly character. His
Maybe
powers are essentially
magic,
propulsion. He fires himself like a cannonball, essentially. But he's silly. He actually, in the comic books, for those of you that have been following the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Cannonball is technically one of the main New Mutants responsible for setting off Civil War in the Marvel Comics universe.
Not the new Civil War, the original Civil War?
No, the Civil War that the movie was just based on. Instead of Wanda Maximoff destroying people in a building, it was Cannonball and the New Mutants blowing up an entire school and 400 innocent people in a town because they attack a bad mutant called Nuke. And Nuke, his powers, of course, explode himself.
I need to drink to let this all settle.
So Cannonball was actually, as Cannonball and the New Mutants were the reason behind Civil War in the comics universe. So those of you that saw Captain America Civil War, it's weird that they're making Cannonball, like they're bringing... Okay, well, that's cool. It's
cool casting. Apparently, Rosario Dawson is also going to play like a Dr. Leslie something or Dr.
Okay.
Yeah, some sort of other woman, presumably at either Xavier's school.
So you say
or
Dr.
whatever.
Leslie, and I think Dr. Leslie Tompkins from the Batman universe that helped Bruce Wayne rehabilitate after getting his back broken from Bane.
Yeah, which is one of my favorite stories of all time.
Can you guys tell I'm a comics nerd?
Yeah, and I kind of am, but he stuck with it, and I just kind of floundered off in a different thing.
Well, speaking of the man from Stranger Things, perhaps that is a good bridge.
I think it's a very good bridge. Yes, we're excited about Josh Boone's New Mutants, but Stranger Things info. I'll let Cecil take it away.
Yes. Now this is super exciting. The Duffer Brothers have basically revealed that the creatures from Stranger Things season 2. They've already revealed that Stranger Things Season 2 is supposed to be the aliens of the Stranger Things universe. That is to say, they're ramping things up and making it probably more action-oriented the same way that Aliens did from Alien.
Crank it to 11.
Exactly. So not only did they say that, but they also said that the Demogorgon from the first season is going to... What did they exactly say? It's going to look quaint in comparison to the creatures from Stranger Things Season 2, as a creature fan, which we did a creature craziness panel at Phoenix Comic-Con, which you guys will see on the channel soon.
Yeah.
A whole hour-long panel talking all about creature movies, not monster movies, creature movies.
Including our other slip-up by a panelist being really nasty.
But anyway, it was really great panel, and I'm super excited to know that creatures are going to be big and badass in Stranger Things Season 2.
Dude, remember in the trailer we saw the little teaser?
The big in the sky. Yeah.
Thing. Yeah.
I think that's got to be like the final boss of Season 2. I'm excited to see what bigger creatures we're going to get. Like, how much of a throwback to the 80s is it going to be? You know, is it going to be 80s type creatures? Like, is it going to be a thing type thing? And then is it going to be...
They have so much more money to play with now, which is what excites me about this.
I'm so excited about what we're going to see in Stranger... there is not a single show that I'm more excited about than Stranger Things Season 2. And even though it was picked by someone else and I had to go with Castlevania during the panel...
I'm excited about Castlevania.
I am too, but Stranger Things Season 2 more so. Don't act like you're not more excited about Stranger Things.
I definitely am, especially after Finn Wolfhard said recently as well that this is going to be a more horror take on the Stranger Things universe. Those are his exact words. It's more horror than the first season. So,
clearly we have to run a Stranger Things panel next year.
I think so, if we can.
Jason Alofs? No, I'll email AJ right now. AJ from the Phoenix Comic-Con helped hook us up with all the panels. I'll tell him, hey, we want to call dibs on the main Stranger Things panel for next year.
And the one that he beckoned us to do did really awesome as well, the American Horror Story panel. I thought that was one of our strongest, man.
It was absolutely one of our strongest.
The fan reaction was crazy good.
Oh my god, it was great. We had a great reaction to the Walking Dead panel as well. We're going to do a whole unpacking live stream of Phoenix Comic-Con later this month. We just need a little bit of time to get between us, and we're going to do a Mad Monster unpacking as well, because that was an amazing... Like, we got to talk to some really cool people.
Yes, I was blessed. I was blessed to have some cool opportunities, and this man even more so with some of the Doug Bradley stuff and being on set, co-directing. I can't wait to talk
about it. We actually cannot show the footage that we got, but... we have the footage and you guys can look at it.
So now we segue to just the middle portion where we've got a series that I still haven't watched yet. Have you watched it yet?
No, but Luis Hernandez from the show, officially from the show now, has watched it, loved the first season, is excited for No End House. Yeah. But we not only got we not only have No End House to look forward to, but we got some early promotional material, which I'm not surprised about, frankly, because remember, we got promotional material for No End House while the other one, while it was still going on.
Oh, I know, like right after it premiered. They were like, okay, it's already confirmed for a second season, and now they've already confirmed a third and a fourth season.
Of Channel Zero.
Yes, which is based on the creepypasta. I mean, do they just pick and choose? That's the only
thing
that
I'm really... but that's fine, and not only that, but it makes me want to submit something to creepypasta.
I wonder what that would be, sir.
Oh no, I've got some other ideas.
Oh, some other ones. Okay, yes. Very, very exciting. So first and foremost, we're going to say a third and a fourth season are confirmed. The third one is not going to be coming until 2018, obviously, and the details are scant, with the exception of the fact that there is going to be a woman who is suffering from extreme mental illness. She has her younger sister treating and helping her, and there is like a badass sheriff. It all sounds very cliched. That's about all that we have so far, unfortunately. But when I was reading the details about Season 2 was when I got really excited. So, No End House. I don't think we've talked about what the plot of this is supposed to be.
I don't even know.
Yeah, it's about this woman who goes into kind of a spooky, allegedly haunted house, and when she walks into it, one room is one horror theme, another room is another horror theme, and she goes like room to room to room and experiences all these frights and fearful, horrible things.
That might need to be an episode by episode review.
But then when she walks out, because she presumably gets out of it, her entire world has changed, almost as if she's gone through some sort of temporal vortex or time warp or something crazy. It's going to be another short run, only 6 episodes, and I'm guessing they're going to keep every season lean and mean, not overdo it, properly flesh things out, and just not put, some fat or whatever in there to extend stuff, which, as much as I love Supernatural, it's guilty of it, just as many other 20-plus episode seasons are. And I need to watch Candle Cove at this point, especially after the way Luis talked about it, dude.
He talked glowingly about it.
But I started American Gods instead, like an idiot. So
we make our choices.
I know. Now that I finally have some free time, for God's sake, I can catch up on some other cool shows like Legion and Candle Cove.
I watched the first episode of Legion, but I need to rewatch it because I was distracted by a really relaxing massage at the time. So
well, there you go. It wasn't by an Asian woman, was it?
I shall tell no tales. The next story is one I'm going to jump in on.
Yes,
and that is the fact that there is a short film called Wait For It that is being directed within a very special universe that I love.
That I still need to discover.
Exactly. It is within the universe of the Behind the Mask, The Rise and Fall of Leslie Vernon film, which was a mixture of the first half is found footage, mockumentary, horror I call it shockumentary. That's the term I'm trying to coin.
That's actually pretty awesome. Hashtag that shizzle.
Yeah.
Marcia Parker, hashtag
it starts off as a shockumentary, and then it goes into a regular feature about halfway through. Like, you can see the transition where the shockumentary filmmaker puts the camera in the car, and the camera pulls up over the top in a shot no one could have, and it translates into a full-length feature after that. So when that happens, you can tell that it's just a special horror gem because they did it so well. It's like Evidence. Evidence is a little-known found footage movie that blends found footage and regular filmmaking in a really brilliant way, but this one does it in a different way.
That's what saved the genre for me, man, because when it was just purely found footage and they didn't think of ways to really make it more interesting, I was just bored. But
yeah, they did a great job with that, and Behind the Mask was excellent as well. So this one, wait for it, is apparently going to be directed by the writer of the first film.
Correct.
Which is exciting, because recently we had to report, I believe, I don't know if we actually reported, but apparently the sequel or whatever is
Dead in the Tracks.
Yeah.
It's not Dead in the Tracks. They're doing a comic adaptation
of
it.
Right.
Yeah, it's going to be the return of
Leslie Vernon.
Yeah, exactly. But this David Steve guy, he's apparently been consulting the director of Behind the Mask like constantly throughout the entire process, and this is about a surviving final girl who is hanging around in the Glen Echo area. So she's like there in the town. It basically takes place in and around the town. I haven't seen it yet, but I was reading about the lore, and I thought it was kind of cool because they say that all of these different killers, like iconic people, could be like in the same area in the filmverse.
Okay.
Or something
of
that
makes
nature.
sense. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, or at least the way
I don't want to give away too much if you haven't seen Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon.
Yeah. So maybe I read some spoilers. I don't know. But I thought that was kind of cool, and it is confirmed to be going like into production, but they also have an Indiegogo campaign where they're trying to just obtain a little bit more money so that they can make it a better picture. So yeah, but there is a
check out the Indiegogo campaign, you guys, because if you haven't seen the movie, even it's worth contributing to. Trust me, if you trust my opinion, trust me that it's worth it. And not only that, but seek it out. Find Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon, and it's just one of many things I need to get this dumb mofo to sit down and actually watch. So anyway, I'm going to do the next one too, because I know you want to do the next one.
Yes, you do.
The next one is AMC animating the Walking Dead comic book on YouTube. Now that is super exciting. Now they're supposed to start from the beginning, yes, and presumably go through the entire series.
They're saying they want to. The only confirmation is that they're at least going to do Days Gone By so far, and they're going to test the waters, see how the viewers go. But it's straight up.
Which is the first trade paperback.
Yeah, it's straight up motion comic though. I watched the first episode. It's live now on YouTube. Nice. Voice actors, movement. Really? Gunshots. I mean, I was watching. It's pretty dope, dude.
That's a good way to go through the series if they do continue it. Quite frankly, because the series is amazing. I'm up to date on it. They're at issue like 168 or 169 or something like that right now. It's really exciting. The last issue I read had me crying in the middle of a discount tire.
You told me about that.
It was really rough. We lost a really big character in that issue. So unfortunately. Well, I don't know what happened to the character. I'm not going to give away anything. But anyway,
thinking about it for a moment.
I was tempted to. But anyway, I'm excited about this, and I will definitely give it a try. I didn't realize the first episode was already live.
It is already live. It's on AMC's AMC as in the TV network, not the whatever else. It's on their YouTube channel of all things, and so that's where they're saying they're going to do it. It's not going to be on the network proper or anything. It's just supplemental content.
No, it's good. It's smart. They've already taken over network TV. I mean,
pretty
The
much.
Walking Dead is
still the most
watched show on television. No matter, even though its ratings have slipped, it's still the most watched show on television. So now they just have a way to conquer YouTube as well.
Yeah, sports events are the only thing that dominates.
Good for Robert Kirkman, man. Yeah. Good for that guy.
Yeah, more Outcast.
Keeps finding ways to make money on the same property. It's unbelievable.
And yet I want more Outcasts. You know what's funny? I was on Cody the other day. Haha,
It's not on there?
No, it's on there. The first like 5 or 6 episodes of season 2 are on there already, man.
I'm gonna watch
because Outcast, amazing. It was my biggest surprise and probably like best show of last year. It's not available in the US yet, and it's still tentative as to when we're going to see it, which really sucks. It airs on Fox in the UK, most of Europe, and the rest of the world.
I support Fox.
Which sucks,
I support Robert Kirkman. I have every issue of The Walking Dead. I have every issue of Outcast. I don't think he would mind.
Why are we having issues with seeing it here when everybody else in the world is seeing it?
It doesn't make sense, but
Why
I'm excited to watch it. Screw it. I'm not going to wait. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it.
I was going to consult with you beforehand, so
Let's
I'm glad
do it.
we're on the same
we can
page
do
about this.
we can do a half-season review or
Nice.
whatever. Yeah, for
dude,
sure. Just like we did last
it's,
time.
Dude, it's on there. So.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yes, Walking Dead, more Kirkman, whether it's Outcast, Walking
Now,
Dead,
the next one is something that I don't know if this news... I imagined, when I first read this news, I imagined Fuego read this news, and he got a massive boner as soon as he read it.
Half chub.
Okay, all right. So why is that, Fuego?
Well, because of the fact that after the whole Alien 5 debacle, where Ridley Scott is like, you know what, Neil Blomkamp? Even though your film has been greenlit, I am just gonna kind of, bigger dick type thing and make my movie have higher precedence than yours, which is exactly what happened. We had concept art, we had an official green light from Fox. It was announced in a press release that we were gonna see Neil Blomkamp directing Alien 5, and then what happens? Ridley Scott being a much more touted and, just, I guess, visionary and acclaimed director with good reason, I mean Blade Runner and the original Alien film, Gladiator, many other things for God's sake. He basically just pushed Blomkamp aside and the project was canceled, which really, really sucks because originally, remember, they were saying it's eventually going to happen after he does like a film.
But because of that, we got Alien Covenant.
And you know what? Alien Covenant bombed at the box office, like big time bomb. It barely beat Guardians of the Galaxy in Guardians' third week. Seriously, Guardians was in the third week, and Covenant made $36 million.
Guardians is huge, though.
True, but Covenant made only $36 million, which was about $15 million less than Prometheus, and even less than Alien vs. Predator Requiem, for God's sake. And everyone was like, okay, maybe the word of mouth, because a lot of my friends liked it or hated it. Cecil liked it, yet Monty Yazzie, my friend from the film festival, hated it here in Phoenix. And so,
I've seen both ways on YouTube, yeah.
But
I've seen a lot of hate for it.
It's a really polarizing film, and so unfortunately, when the second week came around, and probably Pirates and Baywatch had something to do with it, but
Baywatch bombed.
Baywatch bombed too.
Whew.
But it still made more money than Alien Covenant in its second week. Alien Covenant in its second week dropped over 70%.
Oh, that's
It made
awful.
about $12 million. And now people
awful.
are starting to speculate this film is officially going to be losing the studio a massive amount of money.
So you don't know if they're going to actually
now,
give him the third in the trilogy.
Maybe we could resuscitate Blomkamp, but
there's no reason to now.
There's no reason to now. Yeah, I know. Which would be
Go ahead,
really
which
shitty.
leads us to the next story.
How horrible would that be if Ridley Scott just destroyed the Alien universe by his just, bigger whatever type mentality?
Destroy the Alien universe.
And I mean, cinema-wise, if they don't think it's a viable property, are they going to want to push forward another one after, bombing?
We'll see.
Anyway,
We'll see.
Blomkamp has a very cool project together that we're about to tell you guys here. It is called Oats Studio, which is apparently his production studio that he has started, but it is going to be...
Oats Volume 1 is what I thought it was called.
It's what they're calling it, but it's essentially going to be a sci-fi horror, like alien takeover
I
kind
have
of
a trailer
thing.
for us to react to as soon as we're done doing this.
I've seen a screenshot, and it looks very, from what I've read, aliens taking over the Earth, but kind of mixing it with the District 9 type approach.
Cool.
And, it looks very cool. And he's going to be debuting all of the episodes on Steam. Sigourney Weaver is starring...
On Steam, really?
On Steam, of all places, yeah. So Sigourney Weaver is starring in one of them, and he's going to be directing a few episodes, but also bringing in some friends and contemporaries and, different, likewise, visionary filmmakers to flesh out this big invasion universe. And there's, shots of the Eiffel Tower, if I'm not mistaken, with, crazy alien rot, kind of jumping up it and stuff. And so it looks very dope, and I love District 9. I guess Elysium was okay, and then I never saw Chappie because everybody told me it was silly buns, and,
Yeah, Chappie was terrible.
It also had those the Die-Antwoord guys in it, and I'm not the biggest fan of them, but I know a lot of people are. So yeah, he has this new sci-fi, short film series which is coming to Steam, and there's a preview floating around on YouTube right now. I thought, from what I've seen image-wise, it looks very cool, and I'm excited to check out the trailer. So I'm glad Blumkamp is not just on his ass after the disappointment, but I'm disappointed in what's happening with the Alien universe, and that kind of
it does lead into the next story, though.
Yeah, it does. It does. One of the biggest things that I was disappointed about Covenant was the fact that we didn't get as much backstory about what happened between Prometheus and the newest film. And even though we reported on the news a few weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago, that there is a novel that was going to be a sequel to Covenant, apparently that is not the case, as we officially this week got news that Alien Covenant Origins is coming out on your birthday, September 26th, from Titan Books. It's going to be a 300-plus paperback that's going to explore the story of what happened between both of the films. From that
it's going to be David and him killing, what her name?
Yeah, what her name
Spoilers.
is.
Maybe I should not say that. All right, I want to say So it's going to be about David and what's her name, one would assume, based on the prologue that we saw.
Yeah. I always get confused. Rooney Mara and Rooney Rapid. Well, no, it's not.
It's Noomi Rapace. Noomi
Rapace, yeah, exactly. And dude, she was still one of my favorite characters of Prometheus. I mean, her and Fassbender knocked it out of the park. And also, underrated, Idris Elba was great in Prometheus.
He was great.
And so, I mean, I'm happy we're finally going to get to see what happened in between. There was originally rumors that the next film in the Alienverse that Ridley Scott was doing was going to be an adaptation of what happened between, so he was going to go forward and then go backward. I felt that it was a stupid idea, and so I'm glad that is not the case. We're just going to get a novelization, and it's in continuity. It's from this guy named, Alan Dean Foster. I guess he also did the Covenant novelization. He's done some other Alien properties, so, I mean, that's cool that I'm going to get to read it. I hope they do a really cool, audible, kind of audio drama of sorts. That would be dope, but I'm really just unhappy cinematically with the Alien property right now after Covenant. I know you found some good stuff in it, and I did too, but it was just too much rehash for me.
I don't know if I care enough about... I won't buy this. I mean,
I would love to do a novelization review for the channel, but beyond that, it's, I don't know.
I would read it, but... I wouldn't buy it. Well, okay. I would borrow your copy, in other words.
well, there you go. I guess that's what's probably going to transpire. But yeah, not just me, though. Obviously, based on the box office numbers, a lot of people are disillusioned with the franchise currently.
People are disenfranchised with the most recent installment, which they thought the one xenomorph that we got was too CG looking because it was almost entirely goddamn CG.
It was, and we saw it in the trailer. So
and they showed all the scary parts in the trailer for sure.
Yep, and all the lacks of logic in the trailer. I mean, it's one of the worst things. I was reading something.
It worked against itself. It actively worked against itself because I really liked Prometheus in my rewatch of it prior to the movie. I still want to do that review.
Yeah.
But it swept Prometheus under the rug. It was such a bummer to me.
You think so?
No, I feel like the story that was going to be very interesting post Prometheus.
Oh, now I see what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Swept all of the awesome groundwork they'd laid with Prometheus.
Exactly.
And then just
basically there were 100 roads. Prometheus opened up 100 cool possible roads. Mm-hmm. Covenant narrowed them all into one, and then frickin' dropped a truck over the road.
And seriously, just tried to borrow beats from other Alien movies. I mean, despite the fact that I liked the performance of Danny McBride, I thought he was pretty good. I mean, obviously Fassbender in dueling roles. He didn't even have
that much to do, though. Danny McBride.
He had very little to do. But
Fassbender was given his chance to shine, but that was it.
Yeah. Fassbender was the easy MVP in this movie, and the girl from Fantastic Beasts, I thought that she was just very prototype and not unique.
No, not at all.
And so, while the creature stuff...
She was a mixture of Ripley and Vasquez. Yeah. They tried to make her that, but except she was the weaker points of both, almost.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate when the creatures and everything shine, as you see in many horror movies.
The neomorphs were cool, except they were so CG.
They were very CG. So this was a film without... it was not without its problems, and so that's why I'm
not super excited about the novelization prequel.
Well, I'm just curious how they're going to bridge it together, but it's nothing that's really going to have much bearing in the film universe. It's just like fleshing out little bits here and there, like with all the Dark Horse comics I've read.
Well, it makes you wonder, like, how much time of mine is it worth to actually read these things if it's not canon? You know what I mean?
Well, I think this is canon, but who knows how much they're going to address it and how much, it's really going to affect
Well, if it's canon, I gotta read it. I'm annoyingly a completionist like that.
I know you are.
Anyway.
Thank you, completionists, for joining us today.
That's going to do it for this week's news stories for the Horror Show News.
After that talk because, God, I'm so sad.
The last two stories really just brought to mind the disappointment. But I enjoyed the movie more than Fuego, but upon further reflection, I did not enjoy it as much as I even think I did at first.
It was a decent horror movie, but beyond that, it was like...
But it was just predictable. And
yeah,
you pointed out a lot of things that should have bothered me the first time around that just didn't.
But there was good gore, and I think that's what maybe clouded
people's judgment. That's true. There was the good gore.
There was.
So that was nice. But anyway, this isn't another Alien re-review.
No, I know. As much as I want to talk about it more.
Thanks very much for watching the Horror Show News, you guys. Let us know in the comments down below which stories you're the most excited about this week. If you have anything on your mind about it, let us know. And we always at least look at all the comments. We don't necessarily have time to comment on every single one, but throw something down there. You never know. We want to get conversations going. So thanks for watching. I've been Cecil Laird.
Gracias. I've been Jaime and Fuego.
And remember, stay scared.
And yes, we know there is a Sin City TV series coming.
Yeah, that's not horror.
No.